Hello, friends in Sydney.
From A to Triple Z.
You're listening to 4ZZ FM in Brisbane.
An original 4ZZZ podcast series diving into the station's archives to explore the patchwork past, cultural significance and incredible stories of Brisbane Community Radio 4ZZZ.
Come with us and go back in time to Murri Hour from 1984 to 1988. Myself, Wapabara and Brisbane Black Community Elder, Warinkil, Aunty Glenice, Barney, Croft. My daughter Shellar, MB Barney Croft, who produced this show. We would like to acknowledge the Brisbane Black community, elders, warriors, activists, and wish to remind people that some are now with ancestors, always was and always will be. We're going back in time. My radio. Ingura. Banda A.
Listen, everybody. You know there's a lot of trouble in the world. Well, you gotta be strong. For our children's future, we got to be strong.
The meeting today is all about us Murris. We're speaking about deaths in custody, police harassment, the bicentenary and Expo as it affects each and every one of us here. Merv Riley, and Merv's going to hit us with what happened at Rosalie last year. 27th of September 86, we were raided out at Ithaca RSL, Rosalie RSL. There was about 50 carloads of police. 60 Aboriginal men were locked up that night. They were pulled out in cabs and locked up for no reason at all. We cannot find who gave that order. You know, you celebrate 200 years of white invasion next year. You know, we've got nothing to look forward to. We've got nothing to celebrate. Sort of harassment and things that's been carrying on all the time in Brisbane. You know, the white people of Brisbane, the white people of Australia, have you got a conscience? Worry about the Aboriginal people too. Shame on you, white Australia, but typical.
We got to be strong.
Vanessa Fisher.
Well, it's far from beating men and children as they went to women. Not only hit them, you know, that we have to be kicked around and beaten. Their fists, their feet, but weapons that are used in South Africa, they are wooden mallets with a pointed end, and they are dangerous, and they are not plastic buttons anymore. They are weapons that are used on blacks in South Africa. I have evidence on my arm, and it was a civil 21st birthday party. I worked for politics in Canberra. I worked in the community. I'm setting up community mules in Queensland so that we can combine with other ethnic cultures and get an understanding of each one and everybody else's culture. And then we are faced with violence. We didn't invite them in. They helped themselves. They opened the doors. We didn't. We're mothers. And we're grandmothers as well. We've got children's children. We've got a whole heap of history here. And we've got a lot to offer to this country and to a lot of you Europeans out there. If only you can stop and listen to us for a change.
It's the Queensland Police, and they think that they can continue to bash Aboriginal men, women and children. Nobody else is saying anything. They have a free hand.
We gotta be strong. We gotta be strong. We gotta be strong. We gotta be strong. There's a trouble up ahead. There's a trouble up ahead. We gotta be strong.
And I'm not sure that the colonial society really has a lot to celebrate at this point in time. You know, we know that for our people, 100 years after the invasion, our numbers went from something like 5 million to 50,000 to the invasion. And what that means is that for every 100 people walking around this country 200 years ago, that within 1 century there was 99 of those people were removed from the face of the earth and left 1% of our population. That's a fact that the colonial society is unable to admit to or address. I think they still try and teach our kids in school that there was only 300,000 Aboriginal people in this country when they came. The thing about an Aboriginal culture is that it is so old. There are different studies have been done, been dates of 40,000 years, of 140,000 years, and up to 400,000 years. And these are all what they call scientific studies in colonial terms.
If you look at terms like dispersal, I mean, it pops up so many times, government documents and pronouncements, and it was a way of saying that they were killing people. They never called it a guerrilla war. I mean, that's the thing that Australia must come to terms with, the wider immigrant society, that we never ceded sovereignty in this land.
Well, hello, Murris, Kurris, Nungas and Nungas. I'm Toffee, Wharton. I work for Opal Cultural Centre. And this next song I'd like to introduce is to all of my brothers and sisters who are there in jail, and we're still thinking of them. This song is from Sherry Watkins from South Australia, and it's called Prison Song.
But prison's nothing special to any Nunga I know, 'cause the white man makes it prison most everywhere we go. The white man's way is hard to follow when you're used to tribal law, and so before you know it, the cops have got you for sure. So the poor downtrodden Nungas are sent to jail to rot. But prison's nothing special to any Nunga I know, 'cause the white man makes it prison most everywhere we go. We'd really like to find out just how to apply for bail, but then we cannot raise it, so it's back again to jail. That's where my story started, and probably will end. And prison's nothing special to any Nunga I know, 'cause the white man makes it prison most everywhere we go.
Yes, and that background song is called The Vision, and that's from No Fixed Address. And I think we all have a vision at the moment in the Aboriginal deaths in custody, and a lot of us have a mixed reception, and from black communities when it was first announced.
Like 200 years up the road to having a Royal Commission, is that going to help you out at all?
Well, you must remember that a Royal Commission will help to bring some of the things out, but the guidelines are very narrow and it's got to be certainly widened. It just can't look at from arrest to death. It's got to look at beforehand and all those types of things.
The state of the media in Queensland, I'm not sure if there's a lot of people who qualify to be called experts, in as far as, I suppose, having a media, or rather not having a media, that is of acting as a watchdog, I suppose, of public conscience or social conscience. But I mean, I think it's fairly important that Murri perspectives are expressed, I suppose, on the state of politics in Queensland.
There's Royal Commission coming on, and that's going to investigate black deaths in custody. It's going to have a look at the police, Aboriginal and Islander relations as well. You've also got an investigation into corruption in the police here, so you're not really a very good bunch of people anyhow, to start with.
We're going back in time. My radio. Ingura. Banda A.
This story's right, this story's true. I would not tell lies to you, like the promises they did not keep, and how they fenced us in like sheep. Said to us, come take our hand, set us up on mission land, told us to read, to write and pray. Then they took the children away, took the children away, the children away.
And this is Shellar MB Barney Croft.
Aboriginal people are victims of racism. Police brutality against Aboriginal people is a manifestation of institutionalised racism and of convenience and complicity of the state and government in racial discrimination.
The children away, snatched from their mother's breast, said this is for the best, took them away. Welfare and the police came, said you've got to understand.
The harassment is coming mainly now to all the young people, because all the young people are the ones who are out and about town.
Taught them that and taught them this, and others taught them prejudice. You took the children away, the children away, breaking our mother's heart, tearing us all apart, took them away.
One of our kids was hurt. He was at the watch house. That at least 2 other prisoners at the watch house reported they heard the screams and crying coming from a cell holding the boy. He said the boy told him he was slapped and punched repeatedly by the policeman who had picked him up. He said the police van pulled up alongside the pair. The policeman smelled strongly of liquor. The policeman slammed into the boy's head to a side window, cracking the glass. The boy's mother said yesterday her son in year 10 was too frightened to go to school. He had never been in trouble with the police before, and this young boy, he was treated at a local doctor the day after with cuts and bruises.
They're getting booted, they're getting flogged, they're even getting threatened to be shot.
Aboriginal youths in custody are much more vulnerable. Thrusting a revolver down the throat of Aboriginal boys to get confessions on crimes as minor as petty thief.
One dark day on Framingham came and didn't give a damn. My mother cried, go get their dad. He came running, fighting mad. Mother's tears were falling down. Dad shaped up and stood his ground. He said, you touch my kids and you fight me. Then they took us from a family, took us away. They took us away. Snatched from our mother's breast, said this is for the best, took us away.
Especially the brothers, the boys, they get picked up by the cops, they get driven out to faraway places. They travel for hours. Then they end up somewhere stripped and have a gun shot between their legs. And they've got to find their own way home. No, one fella, it was too much. He actually committed suicide because of it.
The policeman down the back here is. It's pretty important he hears us because we've got a message for him. Raise your hand. What we're trying to tell the police in this state and in Brisbane is lay off. The Aboriginal and Island people are sick of getting knocked around and fast. We don't want you to do it anymore. We're giving you a good warning now that the times of bashing blacks are over. We come 200 years, you bashed us around for 200 years. From now on, we're not going to cop it anymore. We're telling you this country belonged to us in the first place. You only come over here 200 years ago. So we're letting it live here. We're being very decent about it. Raise your hand. They have a free hand. This society has allowed them to carry out the brutality that this country witnessed when the white man first come to this country. But you must understand, there is an undeclared war in this country and it hasn't stopped yet. It's almost 200 years and black and white must address it as soon as possible before it gets out of hand. Justice must be returned to the Aboriginal people of this country. And I talk about the sovereign right. I talk about the right to self-determination.
Then they took us from a family, took us away. They took us away. Snatched from our mother's breast, said this is for the best, took us away.
You're listening to Murri Radio.
Aborigine must be free to control his destiny. Aborigine must be free to control her destiny.
Our people in different ways have stood for what we know. That is a turning point. It's an awareness thing. I mean, it's a turning point. Awareness is the first part of action. You know, once you are aware, that's not the finish of it. But it's just the old proverb that says to know and not to act, and not to act is not to know. Thank you.
Aborigine must be free to control his destiny. To control her destiny must be free.
When the water's rushing up your neck and the ground leaves your feet, look around and see what you've got left. Did you get free? I am giving all of it without regret, 'cause what's the worst it could be? In need of more than just the check to check to get free. I'm trying to get free. I'm trying to get free. I'm trying to get by, get by, get by. I'm trying to get free. Yeah, I'm not trying to get by. No. I'm trying to get free. I'm not trying to get by, get by, get by. No,
Aboriginal speakers in this program were Warinkil, Aunty Glenice, Barney Croft, Shellar Barney Croft, Selwyn Johnson, Mervin Riley, Alfred Shillingsworth, Vanessa Fisher, Hedley Johnson, Bob Weatherall, Charlie Perkins, Sugar Ray Robertson, Gary Foley, Kev Carmody, Liz Bond, Toffee Wharton, and Ross Watson.